are the exact steps you need to take to start learning the violin as a beginner. Keep watching to find out. If we haven't met yet, hi, I'm Megan. I'm a violinist and teacher currently based in New Jersey. I've been playing for over 20 years. I have both my bachelor's and master's degrees in violin performance, and I'm a Suzuki trained teacher. I post tons of free tips and tutorials, so if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, and you can also follow me on Instagram at Suzuki Violin Teacher. Also, if you're watching this on the day that I'm posting it, it is Halloween in the US, so happy Halloween. Now I'm going to be going over the 8 steps that you need to take to start learning the violin as a beginner. I'm going to be going through them briefly, and then I'm going to be tagging longer videos of each step in the description. So step number 1, you need to get a violin, right? It's pretty impossible to learn the violin without a violin. All right, so if you're a complete beginner, I recommend renting whenever possible. Violins are expensive, and if you rent, you'll be able to play on a high quality instrument at a relatively low price. Around here, I think rentals go for like $25 to $40 a month. So in my opinion, that's pretty affordable. Certainly more affordable than shelling out $400 or $500 for a violin. Beware of the VSOs or violin-shaped objects that they sell on Amazon. I would not recommend getting a violin on Amazon if at all possible. I would go through a reputable source such as Shar or Fiddler Shop. But yes, you need to acquire a violin. I'm going to tag 2 videos on that in the comments. One is called What Violin Should I Buy? And then 2 is called The Ultimate Buying and Renting Guide. So you can check those out if you want further info on that. Step 2 is you're going to need to learn the parts of the violin. So I'm going to tag a video in the comments where I go over all of the parts of the violin, but I feel like this is pretty self-explanatory. You need to know what each part is called because those are obviously going to be referenced in your lessons or in videos that you see online. Step 3 is you need to learn how to hold the bow. Again, I have a video on that tagged in the comments that you can go watch. Holding the bow properly is so important. I cannot stress the importance of it enough because if you're not holding the bow properly, you're not going to sound good. And isn't that all of our goals, to sound good? Right? So I would practice holding the bow just by itself, right? Not even trying to play, at least 10 times a day. And what I mean by that is doing 10 bow holds and making sure all of your fingers are in the right spot. Step number 4 is you're going to need to learn how to hold the violin. Again, I'll tag a video on that down in the comments. But like with the bow hold, holding the violin properly is essential for sounding good. It is the foundation of your technique. It's the foundation of your career. If you don't know how to hold your violin, how can you expect to be able to play well, right? And going along those lines, you want to hold your violin in a way that doesn't cause you any pain and that doesn't bring up any unnecessary tension. You know, the violin is not necessarily in a natural position, so you are going to have a slight bit of tension, you know, to hold your arm up, to gently place your chin on the violin, but you want to try to stay as tension-free as possible. This is going to help you stay injury-free and make playing easier. Step number 5, you're going to want to practice open strings and learn how to get a straight bow. There's a video on that tagged in the comments. It is so important to have a straight bow because that directly affects your tone. If your bow is crooked, then essentially you're changing contact points, meaning that the place that your bow comes in contact to the violin is changing. And each place on the violin sounds slightly different. So if your violin is crooked, you're effectively changing the sound through a bow, which you can do, but only intentionally. So having a straight bow is extremely important. Step number 6 would be to learn how to place your fingers down and practice placing your fingers down. I'll have a video on that tagged in the comments as well. Be sure that you're keeping good left hand posture, meaning that your wrist is straight, your thumb is relaxed, and that you're maintaining a little bit of space between your index finger and your thumb. Step number 7 could be optional for some people, but this is when I would suggest to start learning how to read music. Reading music is, of course, a very valuable skill. If you have a song that you really want to learn, you can just look up the sheet music and be able to play it. I say this is optional because you might already know how to read music, or you might be wanting to learn how to play by ear, but if you are choosing to learn how to read music, this is when I would start doing that. After you're comfortable with your posture and you're able to play your open strings and place your fingers down well. And step number 8 is just to follow your book. Now you have all of the basics down and you can begin learning pieces. Now, the book that you choose to use is of course up to you. I personally am a fan of the Suzuki method, which I'm sure that you already knew. The one caveat with that is that the Suzuki method is hard to follow if you do not have someone guiding you through, because the skills you're learning aren't always obvious. So, lucky for you, I actually have a playlist here on my channel, which I can link down below as well, where I go through all of the songs in Suzuki Book 1. I teach you about the skills you're learning, and I teach you how to play them. Another really popular book is Essential Elements, and also All for Strings. So those are the 8 steps you need to take in order to learn how to play the violin. If you like this video and are looking for more videos like this and a little bit more support, consider checking out my mass database of violin information, Violin Dreams. It includes over 200 videos with new videos being added weekly, monthly live classes with me where you can ask questions and we cover different topics, and the option to submit videos to me for feedback. If you're looking for more support, as in one-on-one private lessons, I will also leave the application for that in the description below. Wow, it's going to be a long description. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one.